Please do. Paul amazes me sometimes. Well, how many times have we heard those words? Love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Be kind to those who persecute you. It's easy to say. We were talking about that in a Bible study this week, and it really cracked me up, because if you know Dave Gerhardt, you know what a wonderful heart he has. And he said, when it hits me, I'm going to turn a cheek, but it's not going to be mine. Yeah, it's a lot easier to say than it is to do, isn't it? Love, I like how John Peterson translates this. Love from the center of who you are. Don't fake it. Even dogs can tell the difference. People certainly can. Run for dear life from evil. And hold on for dear life to good. Be good friends who love deeply. And practice playing second fiddle. I like that. It's always good to practice not being first. Some of us like to sing harmony. And that's a good thing. It allows someone else to take the spotlight and still get to do our thing. Sometimes I think about that. You know, Paul could have, if Paul was a singer, he probably wasn't. If Paul was a singer, he would have said, you know, be happy to sing harmony. Know your spot. Don't burn out. Keep yourselves fueled and aflame. Sure, be alert servants of the Master, cheerfully expectant. Don't quit in hard times. Pray all the harder. Help needy Christians. Be inventive in hospitality. Bless your enemies. There's a toughie. All these are hard to do. They're easy to say. In fact, the only way we can do it is I'm not even sure we can do it with each other's help. I think the only way we can do it is with God's help. It's hard to forgive when we've been hurt. It's hard to not only forgive, but to bless people that have hurt us. That's really asking a lot. And it's one thing not to hit them back, you know, is, let me turn down the lapel mic just a little bit. It's labeled lapel mic, and I don't know where I'm getting feedback off of, but I'm getting feedback off of something. Yeah, that's good. Bless your enemies, no cursing under your breath. Paul knows this well, doesn't he? Paul knows, you know, yeah, oh, you bless you. You know, it's what you say out loud and what you say not so out loud. Laugh with your friends when they're happy, share tears when they're down. The things that we do. Get along with each other, don't be stuck up. Make friends with nobodies. Ooh. Now wait a minute, that didn't say be nice to nobodies. That didn't say, you know, try to do what you can to help nobodies. Make friends with nobodies. I don't know about you, that's a little difficult for me. I must admit. As a preacher's kid growing up, our house was marked. My dad is from Holland and has the most generous heart in the world. He'd give away everything to anybody that asked. My mother's from the south side of Chicago. She kept Dad from giving it. But as a kid growing up, our door was always graced by bums. That was my word for them at the time. And as a kid, I was scared. Because these poorly dressed, sometimes unshaven, boozed up, these unfortunate folks would come to our door looking for money or a handout or lunch or something. And, Dad was always eager, and so, the word got around. But as a kid, I was scared. And so, when I would meet someone that was down and out, my first visceral, no matter what was going on in my head and my heart, my first visceral reaction was to draw back. When I went to seminary, my placement was at Trinity United Methodist Church, downtown Atlanta, with their homeless ministry. And then I worked at Central Presbyterian right across the street from the Capitol building in their food bank. The Lord has a good sense of humor. Ron, if there's one kind of folk you have a hard time dealing with as a person and a pastor, it's the down and out. So guess what you're going to do? You're going to get right into your way. And I discovered that in the homeless population in Atlanta, most are mentally handicapped or emotionally handicapped. A lot of them are veterans, suffer from post-traumatic stress syndrome. A lot of them were fully functioning adults who had some kind of tragedy, have lost their job. We're only, I don't know about you, but most of us are just a couple paychecks from being homeless. It doesn't take much. I discovered that they were just people like I was. Because I was able to make friends with nobodies. And it changed my heart. Now, I will admit there are times when I still have that first little reaction that's ingrained so deep, but it's been overcome by what I've seen and what I've done and what I've done. I'm sure when you have volunteers that first start to work in the food bank, doesn't their relationship with folks change over time as they get to know the people that are coming in for food? The first reaction is, oh, these poor folks, and then after a while, they're friends. I think that's what Paul meant, is that the only way we can do God's work among those people that Jesus especially paid attention to, the poor and the outcast and the down and out, the oppressed, is to get to know them personally. That's the way we do real ministry. Make friends with nobodies. Don't hit back. Discover beauty in everyone. If you've got it in you, get along with everybody. If you've got it in you. Don't insist on getting even. That's not for you to do. Here's the one. I'll do the judging, God says. I'll take care of it. I have always wondered, and I don't know, maybe you've wondered this too, and I don't know who you've been exposed to in the church I've been in all my life, but there are times when I have met people in church that are much more judgmental than the people I've met sitting at our school. Which always struck me strange, because those people don't aspire to follow anybody that said, don't judge, that's my job. Well, those of us in the church pews are the ones that say, okay, yeah, that's my scripture, I need to do that, and then we're worse than people that don't aspire to that. See, that just never makes sense to me. Now, that doesn't mean don't make judgments, but don't judge people, don't condemn them, don't write them off. Don't say, they'll never change. They'll never come around. It may be true. They might not change. They might not come around. But it's our attitude. Always to hope. And let God take care of that. How can you do that? If you see your enemy hungry, go buy that person lunch. If they're thirsty, get them a drink. Your generosity will surprise him. In RSV says, like burning coals on their heads. I'm not sure what that was an allusion to in the Roman days, but you will drive them crazy with kindness. And we know that many great movements are done in nonviolence and peace. We know times when love overcame evil. Within our own faith, it took almost 400 years, but Christianity became the religion of Rome. A lot of people died on the way. I know that, the call, and we'll talk about it again next week and the week after that, because Paul keeps saying, love your enemies. They're throwing you to lions, but love your enemies. I don't know about you. If I'm the one getting thrown to the lions, I'm not going to be very happy about that. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to have any response to our enemies, but revenge and hate. We might get to, they should have justice, but it's really hard to get to blessing. And yet, that's what we're called to do. I don't know how we do that, except make a decision personally to do that individually, to love each other as best we can. And if you're in my generation, you remember this song. Thought I'd hold up bring out the big one. Sing with me on the chorus because you'll know it. Love is but a song we sing. Here's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make angels cry. Now the dove is on the wing, you need not know why. Sing along. Come on, people now, smile at each other, everybody can hear. Not all one another right now. If you hear the song we sing, you will understand. You hold the key to love and fear, they're in your trembling hand. One key unlocks right now. Love everybody you can. And when you can't, pray about it. But some people are hard to love. Doesn't mean you have to like what they do. Doesn't mean you even have to like them, necessarily. But love them anyway. When people do you wrong, love them anyway. And I think that's all Jesus really says.